Hey there, Internet peeps. It's your good buddy Rue here to wish you a happy Pie Day. I really hope that you guys got some pie today, or you're going to have some for dinner. I am aware that there are other ways of celebrating March 14th, and from me to you, good luck. Let's get started. Not actually that many comic books this week. Hulk, Let the Battle Begin, #1. I did not know this was a reprint of two other comic books, but I didn't read them before when they were in the initial format, so I wasn't that upset. The first story is actually my favorite one. It's about a day in the life of Bruce Banner when he wakes up like in the desert and needs to find out what the hell happened. The second one, maybe it's because I came into the Hulk with Bruce Jones's run, so I don't know much about like Jocasta and all that other stuff. But this seems to take place on that world. It was a good story. I just didn't really understand it. But if you find it cheap, I'd recommend. It's a fun little read. Dark X-Men #5. Usually limited series like this are a waste of money, and I never know why I pick them up. This one is the rare exception to that rule. These 5 comic books ended up being one of the hidden gems of Dark Reign. Dark Beast, Nate Gray, Mystique. Honestly, Paul Cornell, I really hope you get another shot with these characters, and especially Nate Gray. I really hope that that character especially is not forgotten about for another decade. Hopefully, after Second Coming, the X-Men will know Nate's back or whatever, and all fun will be had. But again, highly recommend it. Pick it up. I'm sure you can still find most of the 5 comic books at your shop. Prelude to Deadpool Core #2. I'm sorry, I have a list over here of the books I read, so I can kind of reach down and know what I'm talking about. See, Prelude to Deadpool Core #2. This book had me cracking up. This is a lot of fun. I hope that you guys out there, just because of oversaturation of Deadpool, are ignoring all things Deadpool. This is a fun comic, good art. This week it's not Liefeld. I highly recommend the first 2 issues of Deadpool Core. This one was just a lot of fun. I really, really, really did enjoy this art, and also Kid Deadpool talking to Kid Cyclops. That was just there was humor to be had there, and they found it. Speaking of I highly recommend Deadpool Core #2. But man, talk about killing momentum. For the past, I guess, since I started reading it, I've been telling you guys that you really need to give X-Men Forever a shot. This is #19. The first 18 issues in 9 months, wrap that around your head, 18 issues in 9 months, have been solid B's, B pluses. Unfortunately, this book destroys that curve with a C- at the best. The storyline is a clusterfuck of stupidity. The art is as subpar as it is. If it wasn't for the art, the B+ average would be higher. I just really did not like this specific issue. Say what you will about Claremontisms, and yeah, the dialogue in here. I can't sell this series on this issue. I'm sorry, and I hope that as we build up to 24 and Giant Size, the story gets better again. Cable #24. This book actually very, very good. Well, writing wise, the tension just building up to Second Coming, building up to issue 25, which is going to be the last one. This writing of this book was very good. Too bad the art kept pulling me out of the story. I'm like about every other page, I'd be like, what? And then, but I will give Straczynski this, the writer, who's able to suck me right back in. But I really wish this specific issue especially deserved a high caliber artist that could do things. Whoever this guy is, I'm not going to even try to pronounce his name, couldn't. This was a great comic. I'm looking forward to Second Coming. I'm looking forward to Hope and Cable's role in it. And with 25 being the last issue of this, one must fall. And I'm hoping that it's not Cable, but if it is, this series has done him justice. Amazing Spider-Man #624. Most people know what happened to Peter in this issue. NPR did a story on it, even. If you don't, I'm not going to ruin it for you. The Vulture is unnecessary. The art is shitty. But with what happens with Peter, what Peter does, the consequences of his actions are very poignant, very critical, very current. And I actually have myself feeling for this fictional character. I do. I know OMD people are going to be like, well, we really needed OMD to shut up. Okay, this is a new story. Something new happened for new reasons with new consequences. Say what you will about OMD, and I'm not even going to get into that right now. But this was a good comic, well written. Too bad about the art, and seriously, You don't even need to kill him. Just ignore the new Vulture. Really, stop it. He's a boring, stupid character who's creepy for no reason. Weekly World News number 3. I said last week I was only going to give this book one more shot. The first one was great. The second one was not great. This one did not sell me on the series. I'm sorry I'm dropping this. It is too expensive for a complicated niche book. This had so much potential to be the new Plastic Man, to be just this new fun book that like I could just hand off and say, enjoy. Instead, it makes no sense, and it's not even making no sense in a fun way. It's just, it gave me a headache. Sorry, dude. Issue 3 is my final issue with you. Daytripper number 4. On the other hand, if you respect comic books as a visual medium, not just superheroes, and you know me, I love superheroes. I'm not even going to pretend I don't read superhero comic books. But if you think that if you remember Sandman, Starman, these other things are like, wow, what comic books can do as a visual medium, Daytripper is that book. This is number 4 of, I think, a 10-issue miniseries. And just like the first 3, the heartache, the loss, the love, just the story of this book. If you can read these 4 comic books and not feel anything, I really just don't want to know you. And yes, I am being judgmental. These are great books with great art, and I am so happy that I randomly picked it up. Issue 1, good book, highly recommended. Ex Machina number 48. We got 2 issues left of this series after this week's. I'm going to be sad to see it go, but as I'm reading, especially from 45 on, there's an ending coming, and to take it past issue 50, I think would cheapen this entire series. From reading Starman and other things, I'm getting more and more respect for Harris's art, but Vaughn steals the show with this. Raise hell. And if you don't read this in floppies, get the collected editions, do whatever. I might even double dip if it looks like there's a beautiful absolute edition. That's how much I really have grown to enjoy this series. Of course, there was some stuff in the middle that was hit or miss, and also publishing, it came out very sporadically. Good comic book. Again, highly recommended. Powers Volume 3, number 3. I'm going to have to say this. So far, 3 issues in, this volume's not as good as Volume 1 and Volume 2. I still like it. I still really do. But just not as good so far. I have faith that it'll get better, because 2 got better, and 1 was just brilliant. I have to point something out, though. 41 pages of story. They even had to go to the last last cover page to fit everything in. 41 pages, no ads. $3.95. Go look at your 22-page, 32-page Marvel books, your DC books with all the ads. Go get your giant-sized Wolverine with 2 pages of news story, a bunch of reprints, and look at the price of those things. And then also look at your fucking trades, especially from Marvel, and we'll be talking about that soon here in a couple episodes. Pricing of comic books is really beginning to piss me off. I know I'm sounding old. I know that you stupid old man, you started collecting comics for 95 cents. I understand inflation. I understand capitalism. But if Amazon taught us anything last weekend, if you price comic books affordably, people will buy them. And $3.95 for 41 pages, I think, is a steal. Especially when anymore I'm paying $3.99 for 22 pages or whatever. Finally, DMZ number 51. Rare criticism. Rare, not a bad issue, just a very subpar issue. I feel like when I read this, I missed something. Maybe that's the point of the story. Maybe there's going to be flashbacks. Or maybe from 49 to 51, because 50 had really nothing to do with the ongoing story. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. But I felt that this issue was very disjointed. That being said, a subpar issue of DMZ is still better than most average issues of any other comic book. This is not a deal breaker. This one bad issue doesn't ruin this entire series. And I will admit that even if I only had 5 comics to read a month, this would still be one of them. And finally, some notes. I'm going to be doing a collected episode either at the end of this week or next week. I have some other stuff I want to finish up. I've stopped doing trades intermixed with the single issues. It just feels like better organized that way. Secondly, due to just me being curious, I'm going to do a Ask Ru episode here in a minute. Not a minute, like a couple days. So if you have anything comic related or anything else that you want to ask me, and it looks like a question that I'm curious to answer, I'll answer it. And if you don't write anything in the YouTube comments or you shoot me an email or whatever, I'm just going to make stuff up. So it doesn't really matter whether you do it or don't. I'm just going to make stuff up, and I'll just lie and tell you people who wrote in. Coming up on 10 minutes, happy Pi Day, happy St. Patrick's Day coming up, and have a good one. Later, peeps.